Hello, my name is Emily Ryder, and today I'll be talking about Cormac McCarthy's book, The Outdark. McCarthy is a famous author who also wrote The Road, which parallels to this story. They are both journey plots that show the negativity of the world. McCarthy tends to explore the question, are people inclined to be more bad than good? Outdark is a grim book where the good characters are outweighed by the bad, and they themselves are not decent people. McCarthy has a negative outlook on the world, which is very prevalent in this story. The story takes place in the Appalachian area of Tennessee, which is in the heart of the Bible Belt. You would assume that the Bible Belt would have more. McCarthy has a negative outlook on the world, which is prevalent in this story. The story takes place in the Appalachian area of Tennessee, which is in the heart of the Bible Belt. You would assume that in the Bible Belt, people would be morally sound and genuinely decent people, but this is not the case. Even the good people are bad. The preacher in the story puts the idea in the mind of the hog ranchers to hang Cola. He shoved Brother Billy Vernon off the bluff with the hogs. Just a goddamn minute, Holmes said. There he goes again with that mouth. Don't hang him, boys, the preacher cried. No good'll ever come from it. No one ever mentions killing Cola until the preacher continuously says that line. Don't hang him because it's not Christian. He shoved Brother Billy's Vernon off the bluff with the hogs. Just a goddamn minute, Holmes said. There he goes again with that mouth. Don't hang him, boys, the preacher cried. No good'll ever come from it. The preacher is the first one to actually mention hanging Cola. He continuously says that they should not hang him because it's not Christian. But if he was truly a real Christian, he would suggest that they take a more peaceful act than killing him. Rinthy is the best character in the book. She's not what you would call the hero, for she has messed up morals, for she did sleep with her brother, but she is so innocent in her acts that you can't call her evil. Rinthy is so sheltered from the world in her little cabin that she doesn't really know the difference between right and wrong. This is very different than her brother, Cola, because he does know the difference between right and wrong. He just chooses the wrong path every time, and even though he had a baby with his sister, he wants to cover up his sins and not actually own up to them. This is the reason why the three strangers don't kill Cola like they do everybody else, because they actually want him to be a part of their group. The book is referred to as an indictment of inhumane violence by John Kent, an avid reader of McCarthy. This is a very accurate description of the book because in this story you have three main characters who do not seem human running around and killing innocent townspeople. The three strangers are often referred to as the Unholy Trinity, and in Salem's print of the Cyclopedia of Literary Characters. The bearded one is linked with the Creator, God, Harmon is linked with the Antichrist, and the ape-like man is supposed to be the evil reincarnation of the Holy Spirit. They are seen in many ways reenacting scenes from the Bible. When they rob the graves, it is representation of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The three strangers are also trying to initiate Cola into their original religion. In the scene right after the fairy cross, when Cola eats the meat, it is parallel to the bread that you eat during communion. This is his first step to initiation, and his later step will be when they meet up with his baby. The man who's obsessed with snakes on page 127. Snakes are commonly linked with evil, and he states that he would not turn the devil down for a drink. When the three strangers show up at his house and actually murder him, he reached to put one hand on the door jamb and took a step backwards as if to let them pass. He was going to let the three people that just killed him, who are supposed to be representation of the Unholy Trinity, come into his house. He is also one of the good people in the book. He can't truly be 100% good if he's willing to let these people not only kill him, but into his house right after. The strangers end up killing most people that they come into contact with, but they do not kill Cola, for they believe that he is like them. The Unholy Trinity help Cola get rid of his sins when they murder and drink the blood of his child. Harmon was watching the man. Even the mute one stirred. The man took hold of the child and lifted it up. It was watching the fire. Holmes saw the blade wink, and the light, like a long cat's eye, slant and malevolent, and a dark smile erupted on the child's throat. The mute one knelt forward. He knelt with his hands outreached, his nostrils rippled delicately. The man handed him the child, and he seized it up, looking once at Holmes with witless eyes, and buried his moaning face in his throat. This is a very gruesome scene where the most innocent character, a baby who has not even had time to actually be a bad person, is brutally murdered and has obviously been tortured, for he only has one eye left, and he has been burned on one side of the body. A man that has a positive outlook on humanity would not write a book that is so dark and ends in the killing of a small child. McCarthy definitely has a negative outlook on the world, and you can see that in not only this book but also The Road, where that deals with a post-apocalyptic world where there's a lot of unnecessary killing by the humans that are left behind.